What's going on, everyone? So we got to go over Bitcoin right now. We got some slow price action, so we're going to talk about some prices here. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, and none of this is financial advice. But look at this right now. We're at 96.4K, but the volume has slowed down significantly here for Bitcoin. So we obviously have this major resistance at 99K going into 100K, major resistance, and it's been moving slow just leading up to that. We've really been going sideways. If you go over here to the 15-minute chart, you can kind of see this choppy sideways movement. It's kind of been sideways since May 1st, and we went down a little bit. We got all the way up to 97.9K, got rejected at 98K, and now we're kind of just inside of this downward sideways movement. So it's been a little choppy here, and honestly, since the 23rd of April, you can see over here we've really just been slightly going up, barely. But yeah, it's been really slow. So we got to talk about where exactly we are going to go next. Because what I was saying in my last Bitcoin video, I was mentioning how we had a really significant resistance up here. Like it's significant. It's really taken a long time, and we also have slow volume. We have very low volume right now as well. So I was mentioning, like, if we get past this 99K area and we end up breaking past 100K, then our next resistance would be our all-time high pretty much, which is at 108K. So if we break 100K, the next area where we're going to stop at, obviously like 105 right here, 105,000, maybe stopping there, but 108K is the actual resistance after we get past 99 and 100K. So that's a major area for us. So if we could just break past 100K, we'd be good. But look, if we don't break past 100K, we're going to end up pulling back and probably towards this trend line here around 80K, 79K. And then if we end up breaking that little trend line here, because remember, this was the trend line that we were in ever since the beginning of the year at January, the 20th, 21st of January, you can see we just kept coming back and hitting this trend line and staying below it until we finally broke out of it. So we would probably end up coming back, bouncing off this trend line, trying to come and make some breakthroughs here, and then possibly getting rejected and going back down to the Fibonacci at 74K. That's what would happen if we can't break this area at 100K. Like if we can't break 100K and make our previous all-time high over here at this level, which was 108K, and then breaking that and eventually getting up here to 119, 120K, then yeah, we would end up falling back to our Fibonacci over here at 74K. So we need to be able to break it, but our volume is slowing down massively. If you look over here on the RSI, we're getting to that point where the RSI is actually about to cross. You can kind of see over here, even on the Stotch RSI, it looks like it's going to cross at the top and go for a downtrend. The same thing here with normal RSI. It's been on a straight uptrend here, but now you can see this red line is getting closer to the white line, which means if it crosses, we're going to see that downtrend here inside of Bitcoin. And yeah, it's getting close to that oversold area. Once it breaks past this level here, this 70 level, that's when we're going to end up seeing that oversold or overbought territory. So we'll end up seeing overbuying there. And if that happens, we're going to get a lot of selling. So we got to pay attention to that level because that level is probably going to be broken once we get up to like 99K. So we might actually get rejected at 99K. It's a possibility. There's also a possibility that we break 99K, but see, if we break 99K, then that immediately puts us in overbought territory. And if we do that, well, then we can stay in overbought territory for a good minute, but then eventually it's coming out of that overbought territory. So if we are to break 100K and we do go into that overbought territory, there's that possibility that we stay in there until we get up to new all-time highs at 120K. But right now, there's really nothing good in the market right now that says that we can get to 120K. There's nothing good going on right now in this market. So everything's kind of in a bad negative territory. But yeah, right now, Bitcoin's still doing decent, 2.3% in the last 7 days. Not bad. 12% in the last 14 days, 18% in the last 30 days, 56.5% in the last year. So not too bad, not too bad. And then we also got some stuff that other people are saying. So over here on Bitcoin.news or news.bitcoin.com, it's saying Bitcoin price watch bearish pressure builds despite uptrend support. Now, a lot of people are seeing the bearish pressure and seeing the less momentum, the lower momentum. So this is definitely something a lot of people are noticing. The volume is slowing down. So a lot of people are paying attention to this now. It says on the daily chart, Bitcoin maintains a bullish trend following a steady climb from 74K to a recent high of 97.9K. However, the increasing volume observed during the ascent has begun to taper, and that's why we see this kind of slowing down here. So we went from that support here at the Fibonacci all the way down there at 74K, all the way up to where we are now. But that momentum is definitely losing steam. They're talking about the immediate support zone. It sits between 90K and 91K with a secondary support at 94K. So what they're talking about here, 90K, that's where I got this line set up right now. And then they're talking about 91K. So that is definitely a zone that we don't want to forget. We got to pay attention to that zone because if we pull back, that's going to be the first level that we're going to end up touching. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here. So then we just have that reminder. I already have the blue line here, but sometimes you can't actually see. You can only see with the white line up here. So yeah, we're going to keep this right here for just for measuring purposes because that's our first support, is our first line of defense. We actually seen resistance at that same area, and then we seen support back here in November 2024. Then we seen more support over there back in January 15th, 2024, and then we kind of seen it used as resistance here. The support was broken here, and then we used it as resistance here, and now we're like blowing past it right now. But now we need to see if we pull back, because if we pull back, 90K is going to be that first level, and then that might give us the momentum we need to break past. Because if the RSI pulls back here and it crosses, but then it goes back up like this, that is going to give us that momentum to push past 100K. So it'd still be in oversold territory, but it would take it a little bit longer to get to oversold territory and our overbought territory, and then eventually we could end up seeing our previous all-time highs. So that's one strategy there. And yeah, a lot of people are really cautious right now at these levels. They're really cautious levels for us to be at right now. And then we have over here Investopedia. They mentioned watch these Bitcoin price levels as 100K is back in sight. So yeah, the 100K level is back in sight. That's a psychological level, definitely. When people see 100K, they either think, oh, it's going straight up or it's going straight down. And right now, most people are very cautious and they're not really trying to do much buying. So that's why you're seeing the volume and momentum slowing down. So right now, what people are seeing is this is a cautious level. It's a psychological level that just messes with people in the head. They're just like, oh no, there's no way it gets above 100K. If it does push above 100K, it's probably because institutional investors are going to push it above it, right? So, anyways, investors should watch crucial overhead levels on Bitcoin's chart around 100K and 107K, while also keying the support levels of 92K and 85K. So, yeah, that 85K level is right here. So, I set that in one of the previous videos. So, we still have that level as another level of support. But yeah, we definitely need to be careful inside of these markets. So they're also talking about a pennant pattern breakout. So after breaking out from a descending channel last month, Bitcoin's price rallied sharply before consolidating in a narrow pennant pattern. And that's kind of what they're saying that we're going through right now. So let's go to a smaller chart at the 4-hour chart here for Bitcoin. So you can see that we have been on this uptrend since 74K. That's definitely where we've been, but right now it's not looking too good for Bitcoin. So look at that uptrend. That's a steep uptrend too. That's a steep uptrend trending line. And right now we're at that point of either we break it and we go down at this point. So within the next day, you're going to either see a big drop inside of Bitcoin or you're going to see a big pump in Bitcoin within the next day. So this is literally about to happen right now. I'm not here trying to predict the movement, like the actual direction of Bitcoin. What I'm looking at is what happens after it makes its decision, because no one knows exactly what's going to happen. But after it makes that decision, where's it going to go? I know if we break this trend line, we're going down to 90K and we're probably going to have a bounce up. And if we get rejected once it goes back up to like 94, 95-ish, because that's where we had this little area of support, that's going to then become our resistance. If we can't break that afterwards, then we drop down lower to about 80, 84, 85K, because that's where we also had resistance over here. So I'm more focused on finding these levels So then if something big happens, I know exactly where it's going to stop. So then if I want to buy a little bit and then, do a little trade, I can. Or if I want to just wait for it to hit this so it can drop down lower, so then I can buy some on the way up if it does go back up. But yeah, right now it's not looking too good because we have to stay above this trend, right? We have to stay above this trend line right now. And if we don't, we're breaking down below it. And it's literally one day. We have one day to make this decision right now. So I'll keep you all updated on this. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Definitely leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. As always, I'll be back with another video.